What sorcery is this? All my pieces are gone. Alright everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to checkmate with me, the king, and one princess. What a load of baloney. Princesses don't exist in this game.
Oh, they exist, and their movement is very unique. I am a princess, and my movement encompass both that of a bishop and that of a knight.
A bishop and knight? Lamau, this is gonna be hilarious. I get to watch the white king fail at the bishop and knight checkmate again and again and again. Oh, don't worry. This checkmate is much easier than the bishop and knight checkmate. The princess is one piece. Prove it then.
Hold your horses. We can't just wait as this is still a rather advanced endgame. First thing first, let's go over how me and the king work together. My controlled area contains these 4 by 2 squares extending off of my squares the corners, making me a very powerful piece for diagonal control. I can use these 4 squares as walls to push the king, and I can even give a checkmate to him in the board's corner.
Now as for me, I have a shorter control range than the princess does, but I control a 3 by 3 area, which is bigger than one of the princess's 2 by 2s. In this tutorial, you'll often see me 2 squares away from the other king like this. This is called opposition. Knowing how and when to take opposition is very important. Using my 3 by 3 control square and the princess's 2 by 2 squares at the same time, it is possible to force the opponent king towards the corner, right before checkmating him.
The final position will either look like this, where I cover all 4 of the enemy king squares, or like this, where I cover just these 2 squares while my king covers the rest. I will note that the ultimate can be done on the edge, like this, but in this endgame, the first mate will always be given when the king is on the corner.
Got all that? If not, I'd recommend rewatching it a few times before we show you the mate.
Are you ready now? Step 1 of 4, position me and the king so we are close to each other. That way we can work together properly. Step 2 of 4, forcing the king to the board's edge.
This will be the longest and probably most confusing step, but when in doubt, taking the opposition is usually a good start for step 2. Should I take the opposition again?
Not this time, I will move here instead. Memorize this useful configuration. I am 2 squares away from the pawn king, while my own king is beside me. The 2 kings are a knight's move away. I control these 4 squares while my king gets this one, forming an invisible cup around the opponent king and forcing him to move closer to the edge.
Cruel, just cruel.
Can we get into cup position here?
Nope, we cannot, but I can take the opposition, so I will do just that. You may have me standing behind a 5 square force field, but that ain't stopping me.
Oh yeah, Juju? Now we're back in cup position and you've gotta go back another rank.
Dang you sneaky creeper.
Professional tip. Whenever the kings are a knight's move away from each other, look for a princess move that achieves the cup position. If there isn't one, look for opposition, and if that isn't possible, just move us closer to the enemy king and take away as many of these squares as possible.
Nerd. Opposition time. Obsidian volcano.
The 2 kings are a knight's move away. Unfortunately, I cannot move to cup position because I am not a rook, and I lack control of squares orthogonally away from me.
Ha ha ha, no progress for you. Oh yeah, cocky king? You mustn't forget about the opposition. Now no matter if you move left or right, my princess will take cup position and force you up. And what if I move upward instead? Well then I will take the opposition again and you will have 1 less rank to move on. Oh drat rats. Ha ha ha, you knew. Your cup position stalemated me because there is no extra rank for me to move up to.
I meant to do that. Next demonstration. Time to review steps 1 and 2 with some quiz time. Blunder Fishers. Do you remember step 1 of the king and princess mate? Very good everyone. Me and the king should be placed near each other for proper cooperation. And now that we're next to each other, it's time to move on to step 2.
Have fun stalemating me again.
And now Blunder Fishers. What move is next? If you said opposition, you are on your way to Grandmaster level.
Yay. L.
Remember what I said about night distance? What move is next? If you said princess to sorry, great job on finding the pick-up position.
We'll see who's OP when it all unfolds. Good luck catching me, you slowpokes. Oh shoot. The king is too far away from us for me to take the opposition.
Don't worry, King. That he may be moving further away from us, but he is also moving closer to the edge. We just need to limit his mobility as much as possible. I control these squares here, so maybe you can move above me and control this one.
You got it. And now what?
Follow him. In cases like this, look for king moves or princess moves that force Europe into opposition, into cup position, or towards the edge.
Okie dokie. Ha! Now there's nothing in my way and I can now escape down the board.
Not if I think outside the box. The angle may look a little different, but now I've got you in cup position again, and now you must move to the edge.
Hey, since when can you switch the edge you're forcing me to?
If it's practical, then it's advisable.
Lol.
And now that the enemy is on the edge of the board, it is time to begin step 3. Forcing the king to the corner.
And exactly how will you do that? First I will take the opposition. I will then remain 3 squares away from the edge for the rest of the game.
Listen closely now. As long as our king stays 2 squares away from the opponent's king, he will be unable to move off the edge. But we want him on the corner. The king will be in charge of keeping him on the edge, and the princess will be in charge of pushing the king to the corner.
And how will you 2 pieces be able to move in unison? Only one of you can move per turn and so I can move twice as fast as you. So bye bye. Will that be a problem?
Don't worry, king. You just need to know the process. If the kings are in opposition, move the princess, that way the king stay in opposition. But if the kings are not in opposition, we force them into it.
Okay. Right now the kings aren't in opposition.
That's right. Now to get you 2 back in opposition. In general, the most optimal way to do this would be with a princess move. However, there are none that force the king to this square. So in this position, the correct move is to simply take the position back using the king.
No escape for you. You can't catch me.
Once again, I have no good restrictive moves. Remember everyone, cup position would be a stalemate at the edge of the board. So even if it's tempting, do not take it.
It's time for me to once again restore the opposition.
Once again, it's our turn. Kings are not in opposition, so we force them back into it. Only this time, I have a good restricting the move. Blunder fishers are smart. Let's see if they can figure out where I should go. There are 2 moves that can work here. This move, and this move. I like this move better, not necessarily because of the check, but because it puts me closer to the enemy and takes more escape squares away from me.
Why must you treat me like a Quamlisk? What does that mean? I do not know. Bro.
It's our turn again.
And this time we're still in opposition, which means
I make the next move. But I must choose my move wisely to not let the opponent escape. This is my best move, as it keeps him stuck on the edge and blocks him off from one more square.
Obsidian Volcano. Hey, that's my catchphrase. No, it isn't. Not much that the princess can do here without letting the king escape, so I will retake the opposition. And again. Fudge, now I am in the corner.
Okay. Now that the king is in the corner, it is time for the fourth and final step. Every move from here on out will be a princess move. I will essentially be zigzagging my way towards the opponent's king. But once again I must watch out for stalemate. Notice how if I move to this square, the king will have no more legal moves. Instead, I will move here because this allows the opponent's king to square to move back and forth.
This is so humiliating.
To move the left. Check Alicious.
Turbocharged furniture.
Checkmate.
Well, okay then, you sneaky creeper. Now it's my turn to checkmate you. Ha ha ha. You checkmate me? From the corner all alone? So de Lulu XD.
Oh, he's not alone.
Oh. I really did just eat my own words, didn't I?
I'm gonna do another demonstration of the King Princess checkmate, but this time, I will go over some tricks and pitfalls the White Princess forgot to mention.
Step 1 of 4. Get both of us together.
That's correct.
Get wrecked, princess. I'm gonna capture you on my next turn. Oh yeah, White King? Kings can't touch Bozo.
Step 1 complete. Blunder Fishers. Remember step 2? That's right. We push the king to the board stage.
Oh yeah? Too bad I know how to take advantage of your weaknesses. I can hop back and forth all day. These edge-adjacent squares are my ultimate outposts.
So we may have a problem here, but it's easily fixed. Let's see if the viewers can find the best move. Did you find the king to f5? Great work.
Outposts, you say? Well, I've got 3 of the weak spots controlled and you sit on the last one, which means you are in Sook's Fong. Oh, that's such bullcrap.
No, it sorts sense.
What the heck ever.
Okay now, do you remember the secret sauce? That's right, cup position. By the way, this move also gets cup position, but it's advisable to avoid drifting too far to the edge during step 2. Think of it like a bully. Your target is the pins, but if you roll the ball too close to the edge, the ball will fall into the gutter. In this endgame, staying in the middle during step 2 will avoid potential complications during step 3, so this is the better move.
Let's go, Julia.
That's cringe.
This position is what's cringe. Let me try something a tidbit crazy. Now you're in cup position, but it's your turn. Bet you don't know what to do now, do you, Black King? One word: triangulation. We're on a board made of squares, not triangles. Well then, allow me to enlighten you with this example. In a position where the opponent king's mobility is limited, triangulation is when your own king moves 3 times in the shape of a triangle. It may seem useless, but it essentially passes the turn to your opponent, putting them in a tougher position when used correctly and allowing you to progress forward. In this position, I will move here, then here, then here. And look what we have. The same position, but now it's your turn, White King.
Cup position.
Frick, now I'm on the edge.
Time for step 3. Now I'm going to let the blunder fishers do this step and step for all by themselves. Good luck. The king has touched the corner. Step 3 is done. On to stop 4. In this case, step 4 is only a single move.
At least it's over.
Oh, I'm not done yet. I've got 2 more things to teach.
I'm beginning to think this horse is doing this because it likes humiliating me.
Nah, I'm doing it for the purpose of education. Go into cup position, I dare you.
I think I will. Triangulation time. By the way, in this endgame, when doing a triangulation, you do not want to move diagonally on the first move. It would let the enemy escape. So in this endgame, move backward first, then go behind the princess, then use the diagonal to go back. That silly king. He thinks I'm gonna do what I did last time, but I am smarter than that.
Ah, that fool. He thinks he's countering our triangulation, but all he's doing is giving up space. Remember everyone, if the king moves away from us when he probably shouldn't, the follow-up move should be bringing us closer to him to restrict him more.
What about the triangulation?
It no longer matters. And now for one final tip. take a look at this position. White is on the edge of the board, and it should be time for me to cut off the king, but unfortunately, I cannot because I am at the edge of the board.
Haha, you yourself said that playing too far from the center was bad.
While this can usually be avoided with proper technique, it's still important to know what to do in this scenario as sometimes the fight is intense. In this position, or anything here, the most versatile place for me to go is to square the behind the king. After White's move, depending which square the king started on, he will likely be on one of 5 squares. If he goes to any of these 3 squares, the endgame will continue as normal. If he ends up here, the king will take a position this way. White must move to the corner and then I play mat. And if he moves to the corner, our king moves up, the opponent must move down, and then it's check and checkmate.
I think the Blunderfishers will have to rewatch that one.
And there you have it, Blunderfishers. The king and princess checkmate. Practice this endgame around 100 times to perfect it. And don't forget to like, comment and sub for more tutorials on the Blunderfish 64 YouTube channel.
See you next time.